7.2 Standard Normal Distributions, finding z-scores from percents. So this is kind of backwards than what we did on the last one, where we were given the z-score and then found the percents. Here, we've been given the percent of what it is. Now we have to find the z-score. So this is in the 55th percentile, and the 55th percentile means that you've done better than 55% of the people, or 55% of whatever it was that we were talking about. So here, this z-score here is 0, and that would be half. That'd be 50%. So 55% right here is going to be somewhere on this side, and we're talking the shade of here. So this in here would be a 0.5500 area. So what we've got to do is go to our chart and find the area that is 0.5500, and .55 right here would be 0.55345, in between 0.12 and 0.13. So in between those two, it's technically closer to the 0.13. So we're going to use the z-score 0.13. We looked up 0.5500. Alright, 2, let's do P of 45. So the value that you look up in the table is going to be 0.4500, and that would be, here's 0, and that's half, so it's going to be on this side and shaded this way. So if we look up 0.45, 456, 452, so it's somewhere in between here. So it's somewhere in between negative 0.12 and negative 0.13. So 0.450. So I would say negative 0.125. So the z-score of negative 0.125. Alright, the next one is percentile 95. So we're going to look up 0.9500. And 95 is going to be almost all of it. So this is 0.9500. We look it up in our chart. 0.95, 959, 957, 3, there it is, 9.9505, so that would be 1.6 all the way up to the top 5. 1.6, sorry, z-score. One 0.6950 in between the two of those, 94 or 64 and 65, so we'll say 645 if we average them together, and that's an equal sign. Alright, so we come over here and we look at 0.05. So that's going to be a lookup of 0.0500, and that's 0.05 would be way down here because here's 0. Oh, that's right. If that's 0, this is half, and so 0.5 or 5% would be way down here. So we look up 0.0500. 0.05. 0.50. So somewhere in between negative 0.64 and 65. So again, we'll say negative 1.645. Now, do you notice that when we are beyond the middle or the median, the mean, the middle, then we are at a positive z-score. And if we are below the middle or the mean, we are at a negative z-score. So let's do 2 more and then we'll finish the rest in class. So here's 64, trying to find the z-score. That would be 64%, which would be 6.6400. 0, that's more than half, so we're looking at this part. So it's going to be a positive z-score. So 0.64 is going to be down here in the positive range, 0.62, 63, 6400, 6438. So I'm going to say 0.35, between 0.35 and 36. So 0.35. I'm going to go ahead and do 7, 9, and 11, and we'll do 6, 8, 10, and 12 in class because these are a little bit different. This is a decile, which means it's in 10 parts, and this would mean 20%. So we're looking up 0.200, which is less than half, less than 50%, less than half. So we're going to have a negative z-score. So we're going to look up here in the negatives, 0.2000, 0.20. So we're going to use negative 0.84. That would be negative 0.84. So these are deciles. These are quartiles. So we know quartile 1 is 25%. So we're going to look up 0.2500, which is less than half, less than 50%. Also, again, it's going to be a negative. So 0.2500, 24. So somewhere between 0.67 and 0.68. We'll use 0.67. So negative 0.67 would be our z-score. The bottom 3% would be 0.0300, and since it said bottom, that's to the left, so 3%'s here. That's what we're going to look up, and we know it's going to be a negative z-score. So 0.03, 02, 01, 02, 02, 03, 030, 0301, so 03. So negative 1.08, 1.09, somewhere in between there. And if we average them together, we get negative 1.88. Okay, so we will finish the rest of those in class.